Hi Aries, welcome to your October 2019 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And also, just to let you guys know, I will be offering personal readings again starting now in October. So for those of you who watch this when I first post it, it'll still be a couple weeks. But yeah, once October hits, if you guys are interested in a personal reading, you can just send me an email. And you can check out the description of the video for all the information around that as well. Alright, with that out of the way, we have a Celtic Cross spread in front of us as always, and then we have some Oracle cards to get to, and also a Mudra card. So we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Two of Wands. So this is actually an Aries card right here. It represents the first 10 degrees of Aries. So for those of you who have your Aries placement in those degrees, this might resonate with you a little bit more. But just in general, this looks like you guys are ready to have a new start in some area. For some of you, this can represent wanting to travel somewhere. For others of you, this could even represent putting your resume out there on the internet, for example. That's one way I could see this playing out. For others of you, this can just be a start around career as well. So for some of you, I pick up on the vibe that maybe some of you recently finished schooling. So maybe you got your 4-year degree recently, for example, and now you're putting yourself out there in the job market. And for others of you, this could be actually considering entering into school again to get an advanced degree in some way, shape, or form. That's the vibe I'm picking up on there. And what makes me think of that in particular is in the challenge position, we have the Hermit card and we have the 10 of Wands. So that's where I'm seeing that energy kind of play out with these two in the challenge or obstacle position. This can just say, for one, maybe as recently as while we were in Virgo season, which at the time I'm recording this, technically we still are, but for those of you watching October, it would have passed by then. But this can just say that, for example, some of you might have just recently, like I said, completed college, right? Because the Hermit makes me think of higher education sometimes as well. Maybe it's just saying, you put in a lot of work for it. Because if we look at where he's pointing that lantern in the position he's in the reading, he's actually pointing it down at the 4 of Pentacles there, which makes me think about 4 years, for example. But for others of you, this can just say that during the time of Virgo as well, you guys might have really been taking a look at how you've been progressing in your career and maybe realizing that maybe you even advanced quite a bit, right? Maybe you've had some success, but to me, this energy, I see it sometimes as almost not even seeing where the end goal is, right? If you look at the person, he's holding all those wands in front of him, you probably can't even see what's in front of him. So it's like, all right, I'm putting in all this work, but for what purpose, right? So you could have just been really reconsidering what you wanted out of your career and maybe considering a new start in that regard. And especially because this is a Sagittarius energy, and that's also 9th house related, so that could definitely be where I'm picking up on that vibe of, maybe some of you either just finished college and got a 4-year degree, or some of you are even considering going back to school so you could get further in your career. In the foundation position, we have the 4 of Pentacles. So this is actually a Capricorn energy, and Pluto is in those degrees right now, and Pluto is actually going to go direct the first, I think maybe the 3rd or 4th or so of October, but definitely early on in October it's going to turn direct again. So maybe that's what's causing this energy to pop up in this way as well. Capricorn is your 10th house of career, and it can just be saying that that's what you're looking at as far as these 4 pentacles could represent. Okay, you're reevaluating how and where you're investing your resources, whether that be actual physical money or just the time and energy that you put into generating money. So that could be what's at play there. And like I said, for those of you, if this is related to going back to school, let's say, this could just be you coming to the realization that the 4 sticks out to me significantly. So let's say you really are going to go for a bachelor's degree, right? And you're trying to ask yourself, okay, well, could I actually manage to tighten my budget for those 4 years because, maybe you could get a part-time job, but, you might not be able to work full-time and be a full-time student. So you could just be trying to figure out how that would all work out for you as well. In the past position, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And to me, this is a similar energy to that Four of Pentacles, where, to me, it's really looking at progress and seeing how far you've come, how much far you have to go from here as well. And if we look at the person's body language, it doesn't look like they're necessarily too happy with where they're at. And sometimes this could even be an energy of comparing what you have compared to others. So, for example, if this is someone else's pentacles and that's yours, you might be feeling like, well, I put in just as much work. Why did I have that much and I only have this much? So could have just been all of that energy going through the sign of Virgo that just maybe made you a bit more of a harsh critic of yourself more than anything as well. So, maybe you're really just being a bit hard on yourself in the past and regarding how much progress you've made in some area. In the present position, we have the King of Wands. So this is technically a court card of Leo, so there could be a Leo that you're dealing with in your environment because there's not really any energy going on in that sign right now, per se. So can be around that, or this can even just be saying that this is where you're trying to get, to elevate yourself. Maybe this even represents you putting your resume out there, right? And now you're getting some recognition and some attention. Because especially if you do have that Ten of Wands, that does show that you probably have quite a bit of experience. So if it is you just, decided, oh, I want to change my career in some way, shape, or form, this can just represent that, where, you might be seen for your skills and your talents, and, you might be getting called in for interviews. I'm trying to see if anything else comes to mind with this, but I think that's pretty much it, all I'm seeing there right now. In the near future position, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is definitely a pretty positive card to have, and what it can represent for some of you is maybe this represents that maybe you do end up finding a career that's more emotionally fulfilling for you, and maybe that's what it came down to as well. Like I said, maybe the money was even good, but you're realizing, okay, I'm making this money, but I'm working very hard to do so, and at the end of the day, do I feel any kind of emotional fulfillment, right? And maybe even it was that full moon in Pisces that made you think about that a little bit more, that said, all right, yeah, the money's fine, but is that enough, right? So maybe you guys are looking for something that's going to be a bit more emotionally fulfilling, since this is a Pisces energy here as well. And looks like you would have some success with that if that's the case. All right, in the position of your energy toward the situation, we have the Five of Wands. So this could just be saying that, maybe you're entering into a competitive field now. Maybe this is saying that, like for the example that I gave earlier, where some of you might have just recently gotten your degree, right? And maybe now you're entering into the job market and, applying a bunch of places, and maybe one of those jobs you're looking for, this could be in a highly competitive field. This is, two cards of Leo energy now, which is interesting because, like I said, there's nothing in that sign right now as far as transits go. So it can just represent you taking on that energy, really putting yourself out there, trying to be in the spotlight in some way. And then this could even just represent a bit more of a passionate environment as well. Sometimes this is looked at as conflict, but it could be friendly competition as well. In the position of the environment, we have the High Priestess and the Six of Cups. So for some of you, this can represent a reconciliation. This usually for me represents Pisces energy, and I think Pisces actually had some Aries energy in their reading as well. So maybe if you guys have, for example, let's say you're an Aries sun, you might have your Venus or Mercury in there, so maybe you want to check their video out as well, or if you're dealing with a Pisces too. But yeah, this can just say that someone could be coming back from your past to reconcile with you. And maybe it's even someone who's quite spiritual themselves. Maybe they're very intuitive, and maybe they actually are the ones who might inspire you to look for something that's more emotionally fulfilling, right? That could be what's going on there. Or maybe even just getting you more in touch with that side of yourself, and maybe it was something that you were passionate about in the past, and maybe you just got caught up in, other things, and maybe you disconnected from that, and maybe having this person come back around might get you more in touch with that side of yourself again. Um, and this could just even be pointing to the environment. Again, maybe like I said, with that full moon in Pisces that passed, maybe that's what this is pointing to there. And saying that maybe that made you want to reconnect with something you used to do in the past that you were very passionate about. So that could be how it's playing out as well. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Death card. So yeah, I'm gonna say that on the surface, I think that for a lot of you, this is hope. Like I said, you might want to just end one cycle and start a new one with that Two of Wands there. It looked like you were at that Ten of Wands stage recently, and maybe not feeling emotionally fulfilled, and therefore you just feel like you're ready for a new start in some way, shape, or form. At the bottom of the deck as well, we have the Eight of Swords, which to me represents, you just might have been really feeling stuck in your energy and not feeling like you were making any progress. And, that could have been part of the whole Saturn being retrograde thing. It's pretty much, I'm recording this on what, the 16th, I think. So it's about to go direct soon. Saturn, that is. And then, like I said, Pluto will go direct in the first few days of October. So, you know, that might have made things feel even more stagnant in that area of life, your career. You might have felt like everything was moving very slowly, if at all, and maybe that was getting a bit frustrating for you. Especially because under that, I'm not going to go under, through the bottom of the deck forever, but we have the devil under that too. So this is another thing pointing to Capricorn energy, which makes me think this is definitely, for the majority of you, related to career in some way, shape, or form. All right. In the outcome position, we have the Justice card. And this is actually the major arcana card for Libra. So this can just be saying that maybe balance will be restored in your life in some way, shape, or form during Libra season. Like I said, maybe it comes down to you might leave one job that you've been with for a while, maybe around the time of that full moon in your sign, and then maybe you do end up finding something that's more emotionally fulfilling. And like I said, maybe it's a competitive field as far as, maybe there are a lot of, like, let's say you decide to start your own business, right? That would give you more emotional fulfillment in that regard, but maybe you're entering into a business where there's already a lot of people out there offering the same services or goods. So it can be competitive, but it might, feel more balanced for you because you actually feel happy doing it. For those of you who have this reconciliation vibe that I mentioned, this could also be pointing to that, since Justice, Libra is your opposite sign of relationships. Going to be plenty of energy going on there as well. So maybe this is just saying that, pointing to you're going to have some balance restored in your relationship life as well. And obviously, for some of you, this can't actually represent a Libra that you're dealing with, but I had to put that out there. All right. So moving on to your oracle cards, the first one we have is New Life. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 39. Okay, it says birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. The oracle's message: when spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core. Blossoms burst from trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious song, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon on all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. So, let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. Made me think of the King of Wands energy, like I was saying, more Leo energy there, and also the Nine of Cups. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. The relationship message says new energy enters old relationships, and new relationships are bursting with the sweetness and vibrancy only encountered when winter gives way to spring. This is a time to connect with others and share excitement, passion, and hearts full of joy. This card is a very auspicious sign with respect to love and partnership in all forms. So, definitely seems to go along with that reconciliation vibe we were seeing in the environment with the High Priestess and the Six of Cups. And also with all these references to spring, maybe this is also going to resonate for those being the southern hemisphere a bit more as well. But yeah, the prosperity message says you have every reason to be optimistic right now as things seem to fall into place magically. New opportunities remind you that abundance is available to you. Delight in the bounty that begins to appear in surprising forms. Stay curious and know that your hopes and dreams are being fulfilled. It's as if new life suddenly infuses your projects, work, and creative ideas with a kind of electricity that crackles with exciting potential. Fortune is smiling on you. So it's interesting there. This is, I think, second or third time they've mentioned fortune as well. And I am thinking about the fact that, Jupiter's entering the last month and a half or so that it'll be in Sagittarius, which is a fellow fire sign too. And usually before it does move on from a sign, it actually does tend to reward you in some way. And not to mention, it's soon going to be moving into your 10th house. So again, that could be regarding career there as well. So maybe that'll actually help boost and infuse your career life in that regard too. So maybe that's at play for some of you as well. All right. Next thing we have is Seahorse Spirit. It says watch and wait. The artwork. And then the number is 53. So almost sounds a little bit different to the main energy we were getting, but we'll see. Okay, it says hovering gracefully, the seahorse observes with the perspective of one who is not engulfed by the drama, remaining at a distance from all the turbulence. Seahorse Spirit appears at this time to remind you of the need to be neutral and gain perspective. Your message from Seahorse Spirit is, not my circus, not my monkeys. Spirit wants you to know that even if you are tempted to jump into the fray and try to fix things, the best way to serve yourself and others right now is to remain calm and simply watch and see. Another message here is that whatever your query, Seahorse Spirit asks you to step back from it, be willing to explore things from different angles rather than a single one, and just observe what is possible. From the perspective of the position of the neutral observer, you will discover a myriad of opportunities and a deeper understanding of what you seek and why. And you will know beauty, truth, love, and wisdom. So that's interesting there. To me, that almost represents almost more of taking on that High Priestess energy. And maybe that's what this is saying too, is maybe the influence of the environment is to get you to reconnect with that side of yourself, right? So that could be another way it's playing out. And it almost seemed to say, that maybe you should avoid this Five of Wands energy if you can. But hopefully that resonated for you guys. Like I said, it seemed a little bit different than the main message we were getting earlier, but hopefully it did resonate in some way. All right, lastly, we have a mudra for you. And the one that you guys got for this month is the Svadhisthana Chakra mudra. And the keyword for it is adaptability. All right, so I'll hold this up for a bit in case you guys wanted to pause it or take a screenshot to see what it has to say. And then since not everything's going to fit in the frame right now, I'm just going to move it up a bit so you could see the rest as well. Okay, but as far as benefits, it says increases adaptability to change, increases ability to adapt to change, opens creativity and the ability to spontaneously respond to any situation, increases capacity for intimacy with self, others, and the environment, benefits the reproductive system, increases fertility, and tonifies the blood. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of it in the description of the video because it's a pretty long one to say. But yeah, we'll wrap up there, guys, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.